If you feel naive or easily deceived in relationships with women, in this video, I'll share strategies to avoid falling into this trap and stop being considered a fool. First and foremost, it's essential to define what being a fool means. In the context discussed, a man considered a fool is one who is naive, easily deceived by a woman, and believes everything she says without questioning. This man is naive because he can't recognize the signs and behaviors that a woman expresses, which are crucial aspects to observe in any relationship. The second point is that this man exhibits emotional weakness. He can't control his impulses and acts without rationality, without using emotional intelligence to discern what's happening and make the best decisions for himself. If you identify as a man who constantly feels like a fool in relation to women, it's possible that you haven't yet developed the ability to read the signs and behaviors that women express, and you haven't achieved emotional maturity. Women often give signals about their personality and interests. For example, a woman who claims not to be jealous and to be calm but exhibits opposite behaviors in the early encounters, like keeping an eye on your phone and getting upset if you don't inform her about your plans, is showing a contradiction that shouldn't be ignored. Just as she provides indicators of her personality, she also expresses signs of interest or lack thereof, often ignored. If a woman consistently responds to your messages briefly, showing no interest in knowing more about you, without asking questions to extend the conversation, this is a clear sign of lack of interest. Another situation to be observed is when she offers attention but evades when it's time to schedule a meeting. Sometimes, she may say things that give hope, like praising your incredible personality, but in practice, when the opportunity to go out arises, she avoids it. It's crucial to pay attention to these behaviors, even if her words suggest interest. If this woman demands constant investments from your side, such as starting conversations, being attentive, fun, and giving gifts, but doesn't show reciprocity and has already expressed a lack of interest, persisting in this approach is ignoring reality. Observing what a woman does, rather than what she says, is essential to avoid situations where you invest excessively in someone who doesn't share the same interest. But if she has already made it clear that she has no interest, then it's a fact. Regardless of the excuse she gave, there's no game involved, she really doesn't want to. Now, what do you do when you realize you're acting naively, sending more messages, getting desperate, calling her, or even writing long texts trying to understand what happened? Reacting in this scenario won't help. If she's no longer giving you the same attention as before, insisting only prolongs the situation. This reaction often lasts for weeks, months, or even years. Therefore, the first point is to recognize the signs, be less naive, and more attentive to signs of disinterest. The second crucial point is your emotional weakness. Emotional weakness manifests when a situation deeply affects you, and you respond excessively emotionally and immediately to what happens. So, it's essential to be aware. Even if a woman starts giving signs, as mentioned earlier, or even says she's interested and then changes her mind, she can take various actions. However, who decides how to act is you. When you have this emotional weakness, it becomes difficult to restrain yourself, and you act impulsively in the face of circumstances. It's essential to develop the ability to manage your emotions, analyze the situation more rationally, and make decisions that are beneficial for your long-term emotional well-being. I'll share a story that will stay in your mind, something you'll never forget. My father is a very disciplined person, always looking for effective ways to achieve his goals. One day, my sister came to him and said, "Dad, I want to lose weight, but I can't." That's when my father shared with her a routine he practiced every day, eating 4 bananas every morning with a glass of warm water. For some reason, he had read somewhere that this combination helped with weight loss. He explained to my sister that by following this routine, she would feel satisfied for most of the morning and end up consuming less food, contributing to weight loss. My sister made a strange expression and commented, "4 bananas in the morning, Dad? That sounds bad, and I don't even like bananas." My father looked at her with a smile and said, "Oh, so you want to lose weight and still want it to be delicious," and chuckled. Developing emotional maturity is essentially doing what is right, regardless of what emotions are demanding. A common misconception is thinking that a respected, admired man, or woman, doesn't experience emotional impulses. In reality, this emotionally mature person acknowledges these impulses, but at some point in life, realized that acting on these impulses led to disrespectful situations. This person, whether a man or a woman, decided to control these impulses. It's not an instant change but a gradual lifelong training process. The idea is to act according to what is necessary and beneficial, rather than giving in to momentary desires. So, in that moment when you're feeling desperate, involved with a woman who clearly doesn't care about you, what do you really want? To submit, send more messages, insist. Perhaps it's time to consider the need to mature, interpret reality more accurately, and become emotionally strong. An emotionally mature man is one that women value because they realize that if they ignore him, he'll move on without coming back. How do you become emotionally mature? Training daily to act as needed with the women in your life. If this video brought value to you, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Strong hug and see you soon.